Welcome to The Real CO.
I'm Cindy.
And I'm Olivia.
And we're here to talk about our truths,
our opinions,
and our perspective in the world of health.
Can't stop, won't stop. Where the brakes at? I give them that.
No, we're back. Feels like we were just here.
Oh, wow. Some deja vu.
Oh, wow. Welcome to the podcast. We got lots to talk about. My daughter had surgery, and she had kneecap dislocate.
Yeah.
And then it happened again when she was playing tag with her brother. And this time,
Oh, my God.
they were playing tag. And if you talk to them, they'll say parkour. They will say extreme tag. But they had made like an obstacle course. Well, she went to jump over something and, pivoted, and her kneecap went all the way over and just stayed there.
That just makes me hurt.
Oh,
I can't.
Yeah. So we hear them all this noise, and of course we think they're playing because they've been so loud. And Brandon, my oldest son, comes running and says, "Jazz broke her knee." I'm like, "What?" And I tell my husband, "I can't see it. You've got to go." So I send him in there, and I can't look, and he starts screaming.
Is it bad?
Is it bad? Yes. He starts screaming for me, and he's like, "I don't know what to do," and I'm like, I can't look, and he's like, "Well, you need to Google it," and I'm like, "Okay." So I Google like what to do when the kneecap gets located, and then I'm just like, take it, you read. And, it was just horrible. My daughter-in-law, like my grandson's crying because Jazz is crying. My oldest son is like giggle laughing because he's a nervous wreck. Kristen is down like she's giving Lamaze. That's my daughter-in-law. "You just got to look at me. You just got to breathe. You just got to look at me. You just got to breathe." And Kristen's like, "I don't know what to do." And I'm like, "I can't see it." Like it was a horribly
So
hot
what ended
mess.
up happening?
So what happened was Chris and Brandon put her in the back of Chris's truck. I still can't look. And like groceries, in the hatch because she can't, so she's crying because that hurt more than anything was them carrying her. So they're going to the ER. So they go to the ER. I was going to follow. And Kristen's like, "Please don't leave me. That was terrible." I'm like, "Kristen, it's my daughter, honey. I've got to go. It's my daughter-in-law." And she's like, "Don't leave me." And I'm like, "I have to go." So by that time, Brandon calls and said only one person can come in. And so I couldn't go in anyway. So then I'm on the phone. But by the time they got to the hospital, it had popped back into place. And that's when I kind of knew that we had probably damaged the ligaments at that point.
Okay. So hold on. This was prior to this recent surgery. I thought you were talking about after her surgery, she did it again.
No, this was no.
Okay, I was thinking, oh my gosh.
No, this was, and because then at that point, Olivia gets a call.
Yes.
So you were a part of that night.
Okay.
So in the meantime, she gets, so Olivia gave us a great referral for an orthopedic who apparently is fantastic. Like we had no idea how great he is because from the people that gave us the MRI and from, the surgery center and the therapeutics and everything, they just can't believe that we were working with him.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Awesome.
But she ended up getting a cadaver hamstring and, it got put in over to hold her kneecap into place. And she kept just saying, "I hope that they're an athlete."
I think, and he was, wasn't he?
No, the dead.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the surgeon. I was like, yeah, because that makes a difference.
But
I'm telling you right
she, she was a little loopy, and he came in and she asked that, and anyway, he's like, "Well, you really don't want him to be an athlete because it's probably worn out."
That's a good point.
But then on the way home, I'm like, "What do you want?" We just stop at, the pharmacy, and I'm like, "What do you want? Do we want to get you anything? Like, what do you need?" And the only thing she wanted, which was very odd, she asked for Neapolitan ice cream.
That's a good choice.
That's
my favorite.
"What? Like, you haven't ate that since you were 5. You've been eating that since you were 5. And then you got my husband, who it's always about him. I love you. But it is. She's like, "What is it? She doesn't need that. Nobody likes that. She's not going to eat that." I'm like, that's what she asked for. That's what I'm getting. And that's what I did. So we go in. I get the Neapolitan ice cream. We get home. I make her a bowl. She eats it. She passes out. 3 days later, I'm like, "Somebody's got to finish that ice cream." And she's like, "What ice cream?" I'm like, "Remember you asked for Neapolitan ice cream. You ate a bowl." She was like, "I don't even remember that." And so I'm like, "Well, you got to finish it." She's like, "I will." But of all the things, like I didn't even know she could pronounce that when she was 5. And then to remember it all the way until she's 16 was impressive. I was just reminiscing, like, I'm like, did they even make it? I hadn't seen it in forever. Besides, at like birthday parties, you buy the big tub.
Yeah.
And so I even actually, because I don't like ice cream, got a little taste of some old school Neapolitan ice cream that I called Napoleon for years because I obviously never read it. So
I can see that though.
Right, get the Napoleon. So anyway, anything going on with you?
Other than, I'm trying to think. No, I've literally been ripping and running. I get up in the morning, my feet hit the ground, and I don't even know how I'm going to get back to my bed that night, but somehow or another, God brings me back there. So I'm like,
I love that.
I mean, I've never in my life, this is something, I've never felt so uncomfortable in my life.
Really?
But it's in a good way. I mean, it's like, it has brought me to, I've just never felt like this. I've never felt like this before. But I'm just rolling with it and totally leaning on the Lord for it because there's no other explanation as to how I'm
How old are you?
surviving. 34.
Oh my gosh, that is the age when I just totally, really transformed my life and started getting very uncomfortable. You're about ready to just have amazing things happen. I'm so excited for you.
Chad said this the other day. And I was like, that's exactly how this feels. He said, owning your own business. Because he's been in business for himself for several years at this point. But I never realized I always took it for granted because I had my job, which is the secure job. I knew that we were going to be okay because of that. I never understood the pressure that he actually felt until now.
Yes.
So he says it's like riding a bike down a hill and your handlebars are going like this and you're like, I think I'm going to crash, but you're not sure if you're going to crash. It's like right before you crash. It's how you feel constantly.
Yes.
He's like, but you never actually crash. You just
And it's still
feel
a
it.
rush.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And it's still a rush. It's still like, is this fun? Is this fun? I can't tell yet.
Like, I promise you, every day I go through periods of like where I'm like, okay,
sorry.
I'm okay. No, I'm not okay. I'm okay. No, I'm not okay. But the whole time, like in the back of my mind, I really know I'm okay. But there's just those brief moments where I'm like, what am I doing? But I'm glad to be here though, because if I didn't go for it, I can't imagine getting to the end of my life and not knowing. And just not knowing what would have happened. You know?
That's the only thing that I wish people could grasp because, not doing something, not trying something. I mean, even if it doesn't work, like you did it, you tried it, you didn't sit on the sidelines and wish and hope. If I don't ever want to do that, I don't ever want to think I could have worked, I could have done something different. I could have tried a little harder. I could have reached out. I could have. I don't ever want to think I could have. I want to sit back and be like, I am so proud of everything that we've done because I was uncomfortable and thought I was going to crash over those handlebars all the time.
Yeah.
But it makes you stronger. It makes you, I don't know, it's invigorating. It's absolute. There's nothing. I was reading in one of obviously a million different books that I've read over the last several years, but one of them was talking about how if it's not hard, if it's not scary, then you're not as proud.
Yeah.
It's like when you train for a mini marathon and then you finish that mini marathon and you've never ran, how proud are you? When you did your first competition, that was tough, right? Learning and exercising and dieting, but how amazing did you feel afterwards, right? And it's like if it's hard, if you're uncomfortable, and that's for all you people out there that have lost weight and have learned how to eat, and you hit that number on the scale, or you get off that first prescription, how amazing does it feel? Because we earned that, we worked for that, and that was the way I believe we were created. That was those rewards.
And the whole time not really knowing if it's going to work out. That's where I'll tell you what has happened with this whole process is my faith has grown like exponentially. Like I have no other choice but to fully rely on like, God, I don't really know where we're going with this, but I'm just going to just follow your lead and I'm going to trust that you're going to work this out. That's what you promise. You promise that you're going to work it out for the good of those who love you. So
and that's the truth.
Yep.
And another thing that I've, talk about the Lord, it's like I've always promised to do the right and ethical thing.
Mhm.
I've always promised to do what is right by those that trust me.
Yeah.
And they just keep coming, and people just keep finding me,
Yeah.
and just like they'll keep finding you. Because when you can truly change someone's life and in a positive and make it better, it's I don't know. You'll see.
Yeah.
You'll just be amazed, because you'll get a referral from someone that maybe you haven't talked to or helped or seen in 3 years, and it's like, oh yeah, and they just talked about how you listened to them and how you went over their blood work and how you and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen them. That's because they're so healthy, but that's okay, because they have told this person to come and this person, and you will see that.
I cannot wait.
It's just such an amazing feeling to know that, this is what I've said. I may have said it on these podcasts, but if I haven't, all y'all remind my family. So I've said at my funeral, that's a whole nother, yeah. Have I talked about this? Okay. So at my funeral, now everybody knows I want a big blank canvas, and anybody that shows up at the visitation, I want them to stick their finger in a color and thumbprint it. So at the end of the day, anybody's life that I have impacted, my children have this visual of all the different
Oh, that's cool. That's a really cool.
that their mom was able to have a part in.
Yeah.
That is my ultimate goal for my children, is for everybody that I've impacted in a positive way.
That's a really good point. And you think about this journey that we're on, even like anybody, if you're an entrepreneur, if you have a goal, if you got whatever goal you're on, it's like, what are you leaving? To me, I think about my kids constantly, and the mom guilt is strong right now. Like I miss my kids. I'm working constantly. I'm open with them though. I tell them this is what I have to do for a little while to get to this point. But
that shouldn't be mom guilt, because you are teaching them work ethic.
That's exactly. And I'm like, what kind of legacy am I trying to leave my kids? I'm leaving them a legacy of hard work pays off. The greater the risk, the greater the reward. And the fact that this is not me. 100% this is not me. I am dependent. My next breath depends on God. And that's where I want to be. I want to be in that position constantly in my life, like so surrendered and humbled and desperate for Him,
Yep. And that is what this teaches. It teaches true faith.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you can't have faith without fear. I post that you can't. Like, if you're not scared, and totally leaning in on God, it's okay to have faith, that you're going to stay warm because you paid your electric bill, or we tend to run to all the other outlets first before Him. But when you do something like this every day, it's like, Lord, I'm just going to trust in you that you're going to put me in front of the right people. You're going to allow me to meet the right people, and you're going to allow me to do the right things.
Yeah. I was reminded too. This was not our topic, by the way, but it's kind of morphing into
Yes.
I like it. I went on a walk with a friend of mine not too long ago, and we are both guilty of being like people pleasers, So one of the things that runs through my mind with this company is that, well, what if I make somebody upset? Or what if I say the wrong thing? Or what if, heaven forbid, I'm human? What if somebody gets hurt? Something like that. These are things that go through my mind. But then I'm like, she reminded me, that's vanity too. Like, people pleasing is a form of vanity. You're trying to, so I need to let that go. I've kind of let that go quite a bit since I've started this too, but.
Yeah, anyway. That's my 4th grade teacher.
She said that?
Nope. She always said, what if the Martians land? Anytime we were like, but what if this happens? What if the Martians land? We were like, oh, you're right. Okay. So that's all, there's very few things I remember from elementary school, but her always telling me, or telling anyone, well, what if the Martians land? And, what if, don't let all the what ifs stop you, because if that's the point, no one would ever leave their house.
Oh,
Nobody
analysis
would ever drive a car.
paralysis.
Yes, analysis paralysis. So good.
You overthink so much. Just do it. Just do it. Another friend was like, do it messy. I'm like, yeah,
do it.
I'm doing it messy.
It doesn't have to look pretty.
No.
So somebody made a comment on topics on one of our feeds. They had a topic. Do you want to tell them what that topic was? Which I could not believe that they said that.
They want to talk about fake coaches.
fake coaches. That was an actual topic somebody asked us to talk about, which is a little scary, right? You talk about people pleasing. How many people is that going to offend?
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's just the truth.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Sorry. Pull it over.
We haven't said that in a while.
No, so we are pulling it over today. But yeah, I understand that. They were actually talking about, all of these, and I'm not calling out anybody, but this is what they like: the stay-at-home mom, social media,
Yeah, influencers,
multi-level marketers,
Yes.
and I have my own theories about. Because I work with a lot of women at their lowest point. And that's just the truth. Most of y'all know that I get you when you're frustrated, you're at your lowest low. And, so for me, I know that my job is to help build you back up, allow you to be more confident, and to allow that which allows you to rally on other women, which is fantastic. But I've never been a big fan of a lot of these groups that, when they first started back, I guess 10 years ago, were all about ab flashing.
Oh,
ab
yeah.
flashing.
Yeah.
And look at me now, look at me now, look at me now, I don't know. It discouraged several of my clients because I don't really watch a lot of it and I'm not on those groups, but they would be leaving a lot of those because they weren't working. They didn't feel good enough. They didn't feel secure enough. And, I know there's women out there that are like, well, that's not my problem. No, but it is mine because I signed up to help them and to love them and to build their confidence back up. So you're right. It is my problem, but that's the reason I never liked them. I never liked those groups. I feel like, there's such a comparison game and that part I never liked. We are created in the image of God and we need to learn to love ourselves, and that, isn't helping. And so if someone did some sort of diet program that I probably don't agree with, but you did it and you lost a lot of weight and, now you can encourage your girlfriends to lose a lot of weight by making social media posts and this and exercising and this and doing this smoothie and this shake. The thing is, you need to realize that not everybody's the same and that sometimes it's only going to work for you, and honestly, I would hate to have my body on social media all the time. That would be so hard. Like I would constantly feel like I would have to have my makeup done. My hair would have to be done. I can't have a scratch here. I would have to look a certain way. Like I can't live like that. Oh my gosh. Half the time I have food on my face. I've been here all day. You've been gone.
All day.
I'm just like, I ran out to my car to get a little bit of powder and it obviously did not help. It's just like, whatever, I tried. So I don't want to live under a microscope. And I feel like, with these fake coaches, they end up, a lot of times they give a lot of wrong advice, because they're really not educated outside of what they did. So that's the problem. But then again, you have all of these people that are listening to them. So,
yeah,
I
just think, but then also think that it sets up unrealistic expectations for the people that are following. Like, for example, if you have somebody that's lost a significant amount of weight in a short amount of period,
oh my gosh,
a short amount of time, it's like that's
wrong.
First off, we've talked about this before. It'll stop at some point, and it's just not. That's not the way you're talking about. This should be your whole entire life. So you're going to live out of these little boxes and these shakes and these detoxes and these subscriptions for your whole entire life. Just
doesn't work.
It doesn't
work. And so the other thing is, with coaches, you've also got a lot of people that just exercise, right? And they'll show things like that online.
Oh, that's a good point.
And my thing is, again, that's a genetic. Like you have slow twitch, you got fast twitch muscles. You literally don't know which fibers are running through your body where. You can't like we were talking on our last podcast. My arm length is crazy long. Mm-hmm. So I have a friend, she did natural bodybuilding. She is barely 5 foot. Mm-hmm. Who do you think is going to build muscle?
She definitely is.
Yes. Yeah. And it looks amazing on her. but she has less of a pull. And it's the same thing I teach people when I'm trying to teach them to do pull-ups unassisted. It's like the longer your arm, honey, we're gonna use a band a little bit longer. And it's okay, right? But everyone is different. Form is different. Changing your footing is different. Some people genetically build more muscle in other areas than other people. We were talking about that too. And depending on where your hormone levels are. Let's say that, you're testosterone dominant as a female due to some things going on with you. Obviously, some of the moves that thinner women are doing may not be the best option for you because you're borderline low progesterone, maybe some high testosterone. So you need to train a different way. And the problem is that that's not what's happening, or maybe the consistency isn't there. A lot of times people are doing, I don't mind a split when you first start exercising, but if you're truly wanting to gain that juicy booty, like everybody's out there, how many times are you really doing glutes?
Yeah.
How often are you doing it? Are you eating to build it? What is your metabolic rate? And you might tighten and tone and that's great, but to really live and breathe by someone who has not been schooled on different genetics, body types. I mean, let's say you're on even different prescriptions affect what's going on with how you eat and your moods and your sleep patterns. I don't know. It bothers me because most of the time, by the time I get someone, they have tried all the things. They've been a part of all the things. They'll ask me, well, don't you know this person, and this person? No, I don't. I am too busy fixing people to look around at what others are doing. So no, I don't. I think there are times where you need a coach. Yes. And honestly, shows are one.
Yeah. Oh, I think so.
100%. When you are having to do
it's extreme.
Yeah. Extreme changing your body and doing, because that's a type of, sport, right? So you need a coach for a sport,
right?
Whether it's motocross, whether it is cheerleading, whether it is, bodybuilding, whatever it is, you need a coach. But these online coaches are a little different. And I feel like anybody and everybody is doing and saying and trying things. And the problem is, and these influencers, the problem is that it's making my job a little bit harder because I have to feed through the fluff.
Yes.
Yep. I have to feed through all that fluff and walk them back. And through all of that, sometimes you just really screw up your metabolism.
That's my biggest beef with it, is like the metabolism being completely wrecked. And then it's like, okay, so it just makes it so much harder to go back and try to correct. I feel like if they're constantly, and the other thing, we've talked about this before too, is that if you don't sit at like a maintenance for a little while and you're constantly restrict, because that's all you see on social media, or these coaches or influencers or whatever, then you're never going to achieve that dream body that you need or that you want. You have to eat at a maintenance, or even a little bit more to build the muscle, so that way going forward you can.
Well, and that's part of the things that they're missing too. I agree with that, because so many people are looking at these coaches for weight loss.
Yes.
And
it's such a normal thing.
It is. That's what it is. But the problem is with that, there's a process. And okay, so I have done, thank you, Olivia, more in bodies. Like, I feel like all I do is in bodies. But the problem is that I can, the ones with the lowest metabolic rate are those whose lower body is under 100%. And some of those people I work with, and so I will say, I had one specifically. She had an upper body injury, so she didn't want to stop training. She knew herself. So we're cycling, and you couldn't use your upper body. So you're doing primarily lower body, right? And I'm trying to cycle, and I'm trying to do these things, but the problem with that is that was all she had used for, oh my gosh, months.
Yeah.
Months.
Yeah.
And you have to do slow twitch, fast twitch, slow twitch, fast twitch. And you have to be careful, because she's going to injure her knee. And so the problem is that she had lost like 3%, which I was extremely happy that it was only 3%. in her legs. She was still over 100
Wow.
because she was like, why are you? I'm like, that's all you've used.
Yeah.
You are burning it out.
Yes.
And so I was so excited that was it, because your number one metabolic rate is your legs. And so, I see this stuff online. A lot of it's HIIT training, and it makes my head hurt so hard. It makes my head hurt. And if you're dealing with PCOS, like I try to tell everybody, please
Don't do HIIT
at all.
Don't do HIIT.
Your hormones are already, you need a mild, moderate training method to where you're lifting heavy, you're doing a nice steady pace cardio on your off days, because you're going to create
You need your cortisol levels
to fall.
down.
Thank you.
Down.
And if you are doing stress, a workout that stresses your body,
Like HIIT.
Yep.
Yep.
It's not going to happen.
Raise it up. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, that is our take on fake coaches. So, I don't, if your authority comes from you losing weight, I'm so proud of you, but you got to remember that's not an authority. I'm grateful. You need to be an encourager, that you can do it, find a way, but just remember your way is probably not the only way. And I pray that your metabolism will stay strong in your 50s. I pray that you are putting on muscle. I pray that you did it the right way. But a lot of times from what I've seen with containers and, these little containers and these little shakes and, these little at home, high HIIT intensity workouts. And, not that I'm against home workouts. I like for people to do that, but there's also, and what's great is Olivia, she work out at home, but she doesn't have a TV.
I have, exactly. I'll tell you what I have in my gym. I have a squat rack. I do have a cable machine, but primarily I use my power tower, because I'm focused on
Power tower.
compound movements, the simple stuff.
Yeah.
I really am.
So those are the things, like if, I don't know, even with weight loss, it's a simple process, unfortunately, but it's not a simple topic.
Right.
It is a simple process.
It really is. I'm glad you said that. And that's, I want to say, as far as like with Elevate Wellness goes, I'm hesitant to even throw that out there. Everyone's like, you need to get into medical weight loss. I'm like, I hate that term. I hate medical weight loss. I'm like, because everybody comes in and they expect to just drop the weight, when really we probably need to sit for a minute and go back to repriming your metabolism and maybe put on a little bit of weight. Maybe you need to do that.
Yeah, and that's what, we talked about the peptides on the last episode. Yeah. What's so crazy is that's one of the reasons that I want to do the peptides, because it's not like it's restricting my calories and then I have to cycle off of it like you did phentermine.
Yeah.
And there are still people out there taking phentermine.
No, I just can't.
And they're taking Adderall. Like, that's the new drug of choice.
Yeah.
That is the new weight loss drug of choice. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. It's the black market. Yep. Adderall keeps you from eating. Oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden everything just stops working, and then we have to fix it. But we're here.
We'll be here when you're ready.
We'll be here when you're ready.
And then you have to actually trust the process.
I know, which you know what, we'll handhold you through that, and we'll do some therapy. But yeah, so fake coaches, I know that was probably a little bit. And I do want to hit on like fake supplements too, just because I think it goes kind of in with the fake coaches, but more on the guy angle. Like, like fake testosterone. Do you kind of want to throw it in there real fast? And we'll let Chris kind of give his feed on that. But let's talk about that, because I'm so scared that I'm going to find people in the parking lot because they bought something out of Skanky Hanky's, back trunk, and
right. I just think, definitely you don't just buy it from a credible source, which would be a good compound pharmacy, one that is checked, very clean. Honestly, these things, people make this stuff in their garages. Like, you don't want to inject that. And then they wonder why they're having side effects like this horrible acne and stuff. Number one, because you're overdosing. Number two, because you're not using clean ingredients.
Or you have titties. I have had that happen.
Your estrogen level goes through the roof.
Yes.
Yeah. So just listen. Come in, let somebody manage it, check your labs, and do it the right way. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because men
Don't go losing your hair, getting your acne,
getting a third nipple.
your boobies.
But yeah, it'll happen. You can wear a sports bra in here. It's kind of right. So just no fake, fake body enhancers either. Please don't. If it comes in and the label's from China, like, you might be, if it's from Wuhan, just watch out. Chris, do you want to talk about your experience?
And we can.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm tired. But no, I was a little nervous. I saw Olivia. I was like, I think patient number 1. First day.
You were.
I was number 1. And no, she got me all, drew my blood. I think she took like 10 things. I didn't have no blood left. Big old bruise on my arm. I didn't know what to do. No, I'm just kidding. I did send her she got me on, I don't even know what it's called.
You're on a bioidentical cream.
Right. I'm on a cream because I'm not doing the needles.
She's giving me the needles and giving Chris the cream.
That's right. I'm on a cream and put on my arm. And after the first I did, I found like the most random photo on Google Images. I was like, what did you do to my arm? It was like this big old.
It's like falling off.
But I feel so much better. I have more energy. And I don't know. We're the same age. I'm 34. And I was just tired. I know at work we run around. But like I just had no motivation. Just tired. I just wanted to eat. And but now I feel like I got more energy. She's got me some other medicine stuff too with what not only was good vitamins and stuff I was taking that Cindy's got me on. So, but no, I'm glad to be on it. And so far it's helped me out. We'll go back and I think a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
And we'll do my labs again and see where I'm at.
Right. Yep.
I wasn't like terribly low, but I was just low enough where she thought I needed to
Boost.
do something.
We needed to, yeah.
There's a high end and a low end.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you brought up a good point. And in general practice, typically someone would see your labs and think, oh, well, you fall within this normal range. But you have to be trained to be able to look, okay, so here's normal, okay, but how are you feeling? So you're not treating a number, you're treating your patient.
Yeah.
So if your patient's coming in, they have suboptimal levels. They're in the normal, but they're not optimal. And then they're complaining of these symptoms. Replace it.
Yep. Yes.
Replace
100%.
it and then recheck.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
You test, you treat, you recheck, and you go from there. So
I mean, I don't know who came up with the low averages, but if you look at that range, a lot of times, like with your testosterone, especially with your thyroid, it's like, who picked these ranges?
and it ranges. It's every lab is different. That's the other thing too. Is like you can't just. This lab may be different than this lab as far as their normal reference ranges.
It's like 0.1 to 14.
Yeah.
There's your range.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I mean. I'm like, okay, I'm 0.2. I could be at the 14. I want to be at 14. Well, you're still normal. I don't feel normal. I'm a 0.2, So like that's the irritating part. It's like you could help a little,
And that being said, you have to stay
that's
somewhat.
my theory. That's Cindy's. That's like, fix me now,
You do have to stay somewhat legal. So if someone comes into me and they're
that
like,
was Cindy that said that. Okay, that was not Olivia.
their testosterone's through the roof, but they're
That's
like,
why I don't
I
have
need
the
more.
prescription pad.
I need more of that stuff.
I'm like,
I'm making it in my trunk.
Right. If I come in and I start scratching my neck, I'm like, I need more of that cream.
yeah.
Then can you check my nipple size?
Right.
Stuff Cindy handed me.
Right. It's a placebo. I didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
But no, she was real careful. She's like, now, you can contact, my kids, my wife. I had to be real careful. If I leave it on the counter, they get into it. My wife starts growing a mustache. It's all Olivia's fault.
She has
So
a
I was all
mustache.
paired-
You
I
have
was-
boobs.
right.
yeah.
That's 2022 for you.
And it is like, just you can identify for us whatever you want now.
Right. Go see Olivia. She'd take care of you.
That's right.
But no, one thing I want to talk about too, I didn't realize there was one level on there, I guess, for to be diabetic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, my knock on the door and toe was in on the frame, right?
Yes, I told
so
you that.
Glad that you
Yeah.
found that out.
You
So
were
I
on-
can make you feel guilty now.
Right.
On
That
that
is
threshold.
important.
So,
So.
let's get my large Diet Coke down instead of regular.
No, you just nope. Water, sir. Water is what you need.
Sustain.
Sustain.
I got that.
Fiber.
I got all that.
Yeah. So I guess we're gonna do our gas station goodie.
Yeah.
So we have a different one. We're gonna share this one, and then we're not sharing that one because I've tasted that one.
Oh, okay.
But we're gonna share this one.
Let me do this one first.
Yes.
Okay.
It's okay. So I found this at the gas station in the cooler section. Oh, it's not 150 calories. It's 90 calories, and it is 15 grams of protein, and it's ready to eat. It's called Bold Bites. It's Parmesan, garlic, seasoned chicken breast dices. How amazing is that?
Nice.
So I'm scared it's going to be wet, and we're going to have to like touch it with our finger, and it's going to be wet. And
How long has it been out? Is it
there
Are you nervous?
soluble? Was that what?
Well, if I have food poisoning tomorrow.
Right.
It's
Call
from
Olivia.
Chicken Bites.
Chicken bites?
They're so cold.
I kept them in the fridge.
Yeah. Those are
They
really
weren't
good.
like in my trunk with the fake testosterone.
Those are really good.
90 calories. They were $1.50.
I'll give this one a thumbs up.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you gotta eat that one.
Oh, am I doing this one? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one
That
is
one's all yours.
a maple and pepper beef jerky, craft pork stick.
It's a pork stick.
Pork stick. So
It's from Big Fork, which is amazing. It's a smaller, I ordered them from Green Bean Delivery.
Oh, okay.
So it's a smaller farm, no antibiotics.
Nice.
So good. They do small batches. So you're supporting.
Local.
Cool.
So this is 7 grams of protein, 60 calories. I don't know what the other stuff is.
It's pretty much all protein.
Okay.
It's low calorie. But it's maple, so she may not like that. It's a little sweet. And it's a little different.
It's different. The texture is definitely different.
You can tell it's pork.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
It's pork.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
It's not bad. It just took me off guard a little bit.
That face on instant replay.
I know. If you want to see a funny face, it's because it's.
It's just a little bit more soft, like
Yes.
chewy.
She hasn't figured it out yet.
Yeah. It's not bad. I mean,
It's not the chicken.
it's definitely not chicken. Chicken is
I
really
like
good.
those because they're. I will take this sucker. I should let you have the Thai
Oh.
green chili. I will eat I like to have multiple options for food at one time, so I feel like I'm eating more, and that is part of my multiple options. And you always have to have food with you. So
Oh my gosh, right.
and those are easy.
I am horrible about that. Like, Chad gets mad at me all the time. He's like, how many bags do you need whenever you leave the house? I'm like, well, I got my food bag, I got my work bag, I got my water bag.
And you know what? When people
goes
are
everywhere with
hungry, they're not mad no more.
No, you don't want to see me hangry, I promise.
Well, then my family wants to eat my food. So
Yeah.
I make sure I take them food so they
Right.
don't eat my food. And, that's part
Cindy
of it.
has like her she's got like a padlock on her.
You know
Their
what they
pantry.
need to create? This is my next car. Whoever, if you're a car manufacturer tuning in, please
A
do
cooler?
this. I need a refrigerator.
They make those
full-on
They make those coolers that you can plug in your cigarette lighter.
I want it in my.
I want it in.
I want it in
so I
this
can
thing,
just,
like
yes.
this middle thing.
I don't even use this middle thing. I would like food
Yes.
in that middle thing.
Yeah, all that ends up in there is your trash anyway.
Yes.
So let's
Yeah, but then your
let's
battery,
make that the cooler.
your
Yep.
battery
The
dies
console, the
now.
middle armrest console. Any manufacturers, Elon.
Elon Musk. Yeah,
Right
exactly.
This needs to be.
Yeah.
with
the
water
cooler.
on tap.
I'm still waiting on Starlink, Elon. So at the homestead. So to make up for that, you can give me a cooler in my car.
armrest.
Thank you.
I will get another car if somebody does that. Yes, I will. Well, thanks for tuning in. I hope that we did not offend a lot of you all. But yeah, we really got that topic, and I didn't even get into like schooling because I felt like that was kind of rude.
What, to
Like,
blast out your credentials?
yes,
It's not rude.
yeah, because
You're credentialed.
that is the whole point. But I mean, I like the encouraging part of the coaches, but I don't like the fact that they've had zero schooling in any of that, and then they want to talk like that's the way to do it. So just be the encourager, be the one that lifts people back up. And, you know, sometimes you can do that just without being a coach.
Right.
A coach.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah, doing a good job. Good job. Keep it up.
Well, be sure to like, share, and comment. Share your topics. As usual, we're open-minded. And then if we said something you like, let us know. If we said something you don't like, let us know. We'll be glad to give our feedback.
Yep. All right.
Bye. All right.
Can't stop, won't stop. Where the brakes at? I give him that diddy bop. Like, take that, take that, take that, take that. I'ma put in work. I'ma do that ASAP.